Occidental College professor Caroline Heldman joins us now to help us make sense of all of this. I mean, we're talking about accusations of another affair, a guilty verdict on Paul Manafort, and a guilty plea from Michael Cohen, and there's been very little reaction from Republican leaders. What playbook would you say are Republicans following at this point?
Well, Republicans are being very smart about this. They have an upcoming midterm election. It's likely to turn the House back to the Democrats. They need to do everything that they can in order to hold on to seats. And at this point in time, the Cohen situation is far more serious because he actually admitted to a felony offense. He has a tape of the president saying that he was part of that. So the president is essentially, an unindicted co-conspirator at this point in time. He won't be indicted because of a precedent that was established under Nixon and later applied under Bill Clinton. But at the end of the day, no Republican wants to be running in November and have an ad showing them defending this behavior when it's very clear that it goes all the way up to the presidency, given the tape that Cohen provided.
And when you look, I mean, this is essentially his inner circle crumbling, his former campaign chairman, his personal attorney. How are the Democrats going to use or not use this come the fall, come midterm elections, Professor?
I think this will be in every commercial, every mailer, because it calls into question the legitimacy of the presidency. It calls into question whether or not, Republicans could have done more to prevent this. And so at the end of the day, I think every Democrat will, if they, want to win elections, they will be using this. This is what they will be running on. And it's a bit of a shame because it would be great to be able to just run on policy, which is what we're hoping, eventually the parties can get back to.
What about Jeff Sessions? Do you say his days are numbered as the Attorney General?
Well, Donald Trump is really angry at Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III, and has been since he appointed him because he recused himself. And I think that Trump was expecting Sessions to shut down the investigation with Mueller. At the end of the day, Sessions didn't do that, but the number two, removing him would mean that the number two, Rod Rosenstein, would step in. Rosenstein also will not shut down the Mueller investigation as based upon his actions to date. So I think Trump is in a really tight place because if he tries to put someone in, the Democrats will fight that. It will take a long time. And that person is also highly unlikely to shut down an independent investigation, given that they would be somebody who upholds the law.
Let's shift gears to Senator John McCain, Professor, because we heard from his family this week after being diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer last summer. This week, his family said that he has decided to stop treatment. What do you think his legacy will be, Professor?
I think his legacy will be the label that he tried to run from after the 2000 election, which is the maverick, right? This is a man who had a very interesting career. He came up through the Navy. He was a fighter pilot in Vietnam who was shot down, who experienced torture. He entered the world of politics with a very brazen kind of, burn it down attitude. Solid Republican most of his life, although he did vacillate sometimes on liberal issues. I think most notably his last vote on the Affordable Care Act, where he shut down the repeal of Obamacare, which incensed Donald Trump. It incensed some of his Republican colleagues. But at the end of the day, this is a man who followed, the beat of his own drum.
Yeah, he's definitely a man who's been through so much, has overcome so much, and it's tough to see that this is something that he might not be able to conquer.
60 years of public service, whether you agree with his politics or not, that's an incredible feat.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, Professor.